The touch, perfect. Go live on this guy. I think we got enough power. Let me get a thing plugged in real quickly, and we'll be all set to go, guys. Oh, my ears are ringing all of a sudden. Literally all of a sudden. Was one of you talking about me? Was one of you talking about me, honestly? I swear, my ears started ringing just right away. So, welcome into the Paint with Josh show. It's my birthday today. Thank you very much for being here. If you haven't already wished me a happy birthday anywhere else, it doesn't matter. Wish me a happy birthday again right now. Type it in, even if you're watching after the live show. Then what I decided to do today, I had no idea. We're literally going to make it up as we go. We're going to take a little of our Indian yellow, and we just want to go right in here with it. Nothing too crazy. Let me tell you what I've done to my canvas. It's an 18 by 24 inch canvas that has the Bob Ross liquid white on the canvas, right? The canvas is wet and is allowing all of our oil paints to very easily and gently slide across wherever it wants to be. We can have it be, have it get lighter and lighter and lighter down here. Who knows? Who knows? The more it mixes in, the more it's going to become lighter. It blends away as it goes. With a little of our crimson color. You guys know old Paint with Josh. You know I love a little crimsony, orangey, purpley sunset, which is exactly what we're going to do over here. I want that little bit of color. We don't want to put on too much crimson, right? It's going to grow down and take over too much of our Indian yellow. Let's switch back to the Indian yellow over here because we should probably do something similar below as above. Right? So whatever we have above there, let's do something a little similar with our Indian yellow. On this side it came down a little bit more, over here, wherever. We're going to get paint all over the canvas at some point, so don't worry about it, right? Get a little bit more of our crimson, drop it down, a little bit more, over here, there we go. I'm just going to toss it on the canvas, literally. Don't have to do much more than that. We're going to blend it later, okay? Let's get over here into our dioxazine purple color from the Gamblin set. Come from the top corner. Yeah, we don't want to put on too much. It's going to want to grow a whole heck of a lot. Let's put it on from our bottom corner as well, just to match what the top side looks like. Seriously it. Done. Call it done. Painting over, and I'm going to Texas Roadhouse. No, okay. I guess we should probably finish. Let me ask you a question. On your birthday, all right, where's your favorite place to go eat? Because mine has got to be Texas Roadhouse, honestly. Like, it could vary a little bit, but it's, you know, pretty full on Texas Roadhouse. The rolls, the tater skins, the fried pickles, and all of the steaks and stuff. It's amazing. I just like it. Look at that, guys. That's looking really cool already. Just really cool. Remember, if you're watching over on YouTube, make sure you just like the video. That's all I'm asking you to do. Just like the video for my birthday. Just hit the thumbs up button, right? Now, we're going to come in here into our lightest area first, and we're going to start to crisscross. Grabbing up some of that white onto our brush. Getting out here into our more yellowy color. And the more that we blend it down, crisscrossing back and forth, it's mixing in with that yellow. Continually mixing. So the more that you mix it, the softer and softer and softer it will become. And the more all of the same it will become. Right? That looks so bright in there, like just a sunrise. Dude. This is almost looking like the solitary tree painting, where if we blended it softly enough, we wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I don't know, man. We're going to keep blending. We'll see what it looks like. We'll see what it looks like by the time we get done. Then we'll grab up our crimson color. Who thinks that would be a good idea, though? Just totally change up my idea to start and do a solitary tree with this white as the light source. Look at it on the camera. It's amazing. It's quite literally amazing. What do you guys think? Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate you. Thank you, Bergs. The happy birthday $10 super gift over there over on the tube. Right? The tube. Guys, I I might change my whole idea just based off of this. This almost looks like a seascape, literally. If we got out there, with just a couple of, like the reflecting sand on the water. I don't know about you guys, but you see things when you start painting, at least I do. And the more that we mix it, the softer it's going to become. Let's get some of that color out here around the edge, just so we have something out there on the canvas. That way it looks a little bit more complete, a little bit more finished. Now, once I grab into that purple, what's going to happen, guys? It's going to take the purple and start to let it grow. The more that we push on it, the more it's going to grow. Right? So we got to decide with our pressure how hard we're going to blend it, how soft you want it to be, right? Because it's what do they call that? An oxymoron, when it's like the softer I want it, the harder I have to push, and the more rough that I want it, the softer I have to push. Is that an oxymoron? Because I'm an oxymoron. I have no idea what anything is, really. It's me, Paint with Oxymoron. Thank you very much. Okay. So, how's that look, guys? It's looking really cool. Looking really cool, man. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes. I appreciate you. Thank you, Jackie. Man, that is just literally looking like sunrise on the ocean, and this being the reflective sand. Golly, I don't know. I've been doing so many ocean scenes, but just went down to the coast too. So anytime we come back from the coast, it's like it's all I want to paint. It's more and more ocean scenes. So I know we'll throw a mountain in here. Goodness gracious. Okay. Blend this guy down, blend it down into here, and just keep going and keep going and keep going. Even though it would look really cool with one little solitary tree. Man, if that doesn't look like water to me, I don't know. Maybe I'm the crazy one. Maybe I'm the crazy one, guys, but that looks like water to me. Down here, or at least some sandy reflection. Really cool. All right, we're at least going to keep some of the water. We don't need it to be sand. We can have be some water out here. We don't really need to blend the water too terribly much, because we're going to go over it over and over again. So it doesn't need to be as blended in your water as it does in the sky. But man alive, that looks cool. Looks cool. I don't like it. I don't like that, as they say. Some dude says that online. I don't know who he is. Some goober. Okay, I'm gonna go wash off this brush now, because we've done lots of blending. We've got lots of color on here, so if I needed to do anything in my light area, it's instantly gonna get dark. Right? And that's not what we want. So let's go wash off the brush. So, I'm gonna ask you one more time, since I didn't make it back to look at the answers. On your birthday, where's your favorite place to go eat? Is your favorite place to eat on your birthday? And right after I dab off this brush dry, I'm gonna come look at your comments. Where's the favoriteest place for you to go? Let me know. We got Texas Roadhouse. Happy birthday, thank you. Happy birthday, thank you, Thirsty Turtle Tumblers. Oh, the Japanese Steakhouse, I love that. Any steakhouse. Red Lobster, I love. Let's see. Anybody over on Facebook got a fun place they like to go eat? Kroll's in Green Bay, Wisconsin. El Tapatia, I like that too. Man, it's a hard choice. Back in Olive Garden, I see. Back in Las Vegas, there's a lot more options than there are up here, and so you could just go crazy, right? But yeah, give me a good steak and taters on my birthday, and I'll be a happy old boy, right? Very cool. Okay, let's blend this guy out. Blend. Until you think it looks cool. Gosh, if that just doesn't look like a seascape to me with some freaking, let's see, I don't know, I see it, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna change our mind and go with our original idea, right? So, I like my blend so much that I'm not even gonna put any clouds in the sky. You can, if you want to. You can throw a little cloud out there. But I like that blend. I'm not going to touch it too terribly much. What I am going to do is mix up some of my Paint with Josh plaque mix just by flattening down all this paint, scooping it up, flipping it over, flattening it down again, mixing all three of the colors until they are one dark uniform color. All right? And we call that color Paint with Josh Black, the most amazingest of all colors. Now, let's see. Let's not go too nuts. Let's get a little bit of it, flatten it out onto our palette, scrapey tool. Come in here, remove a little piece. And where do we want it to be, guys? We have a little peak over here. How tall, how sharp, how everything is your mountain, right? Because your mountain is going to be a little different to my mountain. It's going to be a little different to your best friend's mountain, or this person's mountain, or that person's mountain. It's going to be a little different every time, right? Every time that you go to do it, it'll be different, which is the most fun part about art to me. That way, it's never going to be all exactly the same. Right? It's not going to all be looking alike. Therefore, we can never get bored of doing something, because even though we've done 1,000 mountains, right, we'll still have it come out differently every time. Just by mushing on a little bit of paint up there. Okay. Now we'll come back in with the Paint with Josh 1-inch brush. Back in, grip it, and let it slide out. So it drags out. We're starting to create land underneath this mountain. The more you push on it, the more it'll roll and spread and grow, right? So you get to decide as you come in here how you want things to look. How far do they go down? How much pressure are you pushing to make the color go down that far? Right? Are you also dragging in different directions? Because you should be. You should be having little differences. If you got your brush comes up and comes short on your paint, right there. A little bit more, dragging it out as our brush strokes are telling the story of what's happening on our mountain. Right? We can have all this side going one direction. We can have all this side going the other direction. Even if there's multiple peaks, they can both slide down one way. This guy can slide down this way. But what is our top peak going to do? That's important right there. We can't just slide him all the same exact ways. So what if we took him and just kind of pulled him straight down, right on his one side, cutting through our other mountainous peak, and then dragging down along his edge. Come down, we'd hit a spot, and then all of our snow would start to feed down, feed out, right? However we want it to look. Same thing off of this side. We're going to go in the other direction. Take all of this side, we'll slide it out over to the edge, wherever we need it to be, by coming up and dragging from that center area, and that's going to help us have more of a 3D looking thing. Doesn't that look more 3D? When you start looking flat, that's because you're just pulling it all in one direction. You're just sliding it down, you're not changing direction. It's all the same color. There's no light areas or dark areas or anything like that. That's really cool. Now, let's get over here. We'll make up a little bit of snow on that guy. All right, take a little bit of our white, a little touch of our blue, just a little bit. Bring it down here. Really mush it in. That titanium white, sometimes it comes out of the tube and it is so thick that you can barely even squeeze it out of the tube, honestly. A little bit more of that blue, just to make it a little bluier. A little bluey. Anybody out there have kids? Or just watch cartoons like me? Bluey. Take a little touch of our Paint with Josh plaque, the smallest little bit. Mix that guy in there too. Just to kind of dull it down, just a little touch. Okay? Now, we'll come over here, wipe off our palette scrapey tool, grab about twice the amount of white that we grabbed first, one little scrape of this blue, and find a space to make it a different color. Right? And I'll show you even next to each other that this titanium white is not just pure titanium white anymore. It's got that little twinge of that light blue to it. That's going to help push it into the distance, okay? We do these things for a reason. We're not out here just adding colors for no reason. Right? So now this is our snowy highlight, which is a slight tinge different than our pure titanium white, okay? Now, you gotta tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite color to use when you're doing a sunset painting? Tell me now. This one's looking so cool, you guys. I'm assuming all my light is actually going to come from this side because we've got our darker side over here. So we'll take our bluey, snowy shadows, and off of the right side of every peak, just let them drag down. They don't all have to match perfectly. It doesn't all have to get covered either. You're trying to save a couple pieces or a couple sections or areas of your original mountainous color, right? Even though we're using the same color, if we're pulling in different directions, then we can make it look different, okay? Getting over here, sliding it down, not overdoing it, not filling in everything, even off the same mountain with the same color, just go in a different direction. If you're going in a different direction, it's gonna look a little different, isn't it? If we're all pulling it in the same direction, guess what's not gonna look any different? That. Right? You gotta do things for a reason. Now, let's take our quote-unquote white, which is very, very, very bright bluish white. Let's let it deposit. Just dump it off. Let it flow down different ways. Right? You can allow yourself to leave spaces. Because if you're covering everything exactly the same amount, then it's just never going to look right. Right? What if we project our light up over that blue section? Just by scraping up a little bit of paint. Over here. Pop it up over into that side of our shadows, and then again, dragging it into the light side. Changing the shape of your mountain just as simply and as easily as that. You don't need to do anything crazy. You don't have to overdo it or overthink it or whatever. It doesn't all have to look the same either. Right? Do you want it to be really chunky and really heavy? Well, put on a lot of paint. You want it to not be so chunkified? Don't use so much paint. All up to us. We change the shape. You gotta have that angle. It's not a perfect straight line. Right? And if yours is too perfect, just add a couple bits every so often. Just a few little things, almost like a little heartbeat monitor. That way you have this different thing going on. And if you don't like them, you come up onto your shadowy side and you just drag them away, dude. Take them out just like that. Very cool, cool little ridge right there. Very cool little ridge. I'm gonna take some more of my white, place it down here around the bottom. Wasn't a whole lot. Same thing with my blue. I might as well use it because we got it out. Might as well use it. Plop it onto our canvas back there. Right? Scraping it up just so I've got a little roll of it onto the edge. Okay? Positive it down. Don't need it to be super thick. You never need it to be really crazily thick. Otherwise, it's just going to take much, much, much longer to dry if you're getting it on too heavily. Look at that, though. Isn't that cool? Come up off of our little highlight side and get off in the direction. You can even bring it underneath and continue to change your whole thing. Up to you every time. The more that you get outwards, the more horizontally straight we're sliding. Right? We're coming down at an angle, and then we're changing and getting flatter. Okay, so same thing, we're going down, and then we're getting flatter as we go. You have to make that change and that turn in your fingers with your palette scrapey tool as you're doing it. Same as you go over here. Right? It's not just robot man up here. Right? We're turning, we're rotating. We've got a lot of if we are a robot, we've got a very technological gyroscopic hand because we're doing a lot of movement. Okay? Now, let's take our 2-inch brush, come down here, just very lightly, kind of dragging upward, just grazing it, right? I'm not even, look, not even a lot of paint. I'm going over it, I'm touching it, you can see it's changing, right? But there's not a lot of paint on the brush because we're touching it so softly, just barely grazing anything, the littlest bit. Same thing off of this side. I'll show you. Very lightly, very flat to the canvas, not out here. This is going to brush it away because you can't control your pressure. And so down in here, very light. Softening them. We're not brushing it. We're just taking away a little texture. Right? What makes our, let me ask you a question. Class, okay? What makes our foreground stand out? Let's think ahead. Think ahead in this painting. What's going to make our foregrounds look closer than our background, right? We know it's got to be a little bit taller, it's got to be a little bit darker, right? But what about it is going to make it look closer beyond its darkness, beyond its tall, and beyond its clone, right? It's that texture. And if you have too much texture on your mountain, see how I was just filibustering there, just because I'd forgotten what my question was until I remembered. So if you got too much texture on your mountain, it's going to look too close, right? If you go over it and kind of graze it and take some of that texture away, it's going to make it look further away into the distance. So, very lightly, you can see, not even dragging it hard enough for it to move or even get onto the brush. And then you go from that very light touch, that's the blue side, that's the white side, barely any on either side. Very light touch, and now we're going to smash into it real hard, right? It's not full brush onto the canvas. You can even hear a difference, right? Listen. Yes, because we're just hitting the corner, just these top couple bristles. We're tapping them downwards in the same way that we had created or pulled down with our palette scrapey tool, because all we're doing is just making more land, right? So out here we're very horizontal, and then we start going a little lower, and then a little lower, and maybe come up a little higher, down a little lower, over here, tapping it. Just with the corner, right? The whole bottom side of the brush is not on the canvas, it's not touching. It's just the top. Tap it down. Get all that crazy foggy mistiness. You can see the blue is really only on the top corner of the brush, right? So now we'll use the other corner. Tap it this way. Tap it down, tap it down, tap it down. All we're doing is taking away the bottom details and turning them into misty fogginess. And oh no, Josh, I went up above my horizon line. Oh, my painting's ruined. No, it's not. Come in here, mix it up, transition, and make it very soft so you can't tell. Maybe it's a cloud rolling in, maybe it's mist, maybe it's whatever. And like I said, don't worry about it. We're gonna end up covering it by the time we get over to the side anyway. That's one thing Bob never told us, right? He's like, oh, you know, do your mountain, and he would only do the mountain in this section and wouldn't do anything else. And you realize after painting thousands of paintings, I finally realized that you don't have to go side to side with everything, because you're gonna put something else here, and then here, and then here, and each time it's going to get closer and taller to us, taller and closer to us. Goes my dyslexia, Murphy's Law. Maybe we could we'll catch a fish on Merv's Law bait out there on my birthday today. Maybe. Isn't that neat looking? Man, that is such a cool mountain. And remember, guys, I always forget to say it, but you can go over to PaintWithJosh.com and grab this one right here, just like that. Have it for your own self. It's the very first thing that you're going to see on the website, so go check it out. Go check it out. Cosmic Lighthouse in the building. I've been paying a lot of attention to the screens today, and I'm sorry, guys. I've been really into painting this mountain. How do you clean the brushes? We use our odorless mineral spirits, just like Cosmic saying, dips them in odorless mineral spirits, then shakes out the excess, and then we beat the crap out of them in the bucket or dabble on a paper towel, depending on how much is in there or how dirty your brush is. Fan brushes, we most of the time just scrub. Sometimes we'll beat it into the bucket. It all depends. Each time we go to do something, we do it a little different, even if it's cleaning the old brush. Now, let's take a little bit of our plaque mix. Thank you, Cosmic, by the way. Cosmic's so awesome. She's so awesome, guys. We take a little bit of our plaque mix on our 2-inch brush like that. PaintWithJosh 2-inch brush, just on the one side, not the other. And that way I won't have too much. Okay, and let's just say, I don't know, let's just say, maybe out here, we're gonna start tapping down. Make a little footy heel like Bob used to do out there. Tap down, okay? Now we gotta fill up some spaces, but not make it overly dark or overly full or overly big. Right? As you tap it down like that. Starts to kind of blend out and fade out. You get all these cool little things just from the brush being vertical. Right? Tapping it in, letting it get lighter and lighter and lighter color, because all the color is falling off of our brush. Right? It's getting attached to our canvas, which is exactly what we wanted to do. Now we can either dab off the brush or turn it over and use the clean side, and that's going to take the texture away from being way back there. We don't need all that texturous stuff. We need it to mix in with that liquid white and all of our other light colors underneath if we want it to fade and become a little bit less crazy, right? A little bit less dark and heavy. Fade down. That way we'll be able to come in with a new one and make that guy look like he's even further away. So, let's clean off this brush. Give it an old clean. So just like Cosmic said, we dip it into the spirits, flick it into the trash can, into the bucket. And then once it comes out of the bucket, it's pretty clean, but you don't want to go back up there and touch. You want to dab it off on a paper towel. And that way you get off all that excess dirtiness, and you know, sometimes after a while your bucket gets pretty gray, right? At least mine does. My old bucket gets pretty gray. Right now, look, the more we tap at this guy, the softer and softer and softer and softer it becomes, because we don't have any more paint on the brush, and we're basically blending it as we go, right? So we'll go from a dark top to a lighter bottom. Now, you could even come out here, right? Same brush, pull down just a little bit. If you got enough, maybe we need just one little touch of it. Yeah. Just one little touch of it. Pull down, pull down, pull down. Now we got a little reflection underneath our guys back there. Just a little bit, nothing too crazy. And again, every time we do it, we can do it a little differently. We can blend it out a little bit more. And just remember that our whole left side, we have something big sitting over here. So you don't have to worry about it. Don't stress too much about anything. Seriously. Same thing. Watch, if we want to get a little bit darker reflection, let's take a bit of our plaque mix onto our palette scrapey tool. Let's come back underneath here like we like to do with our river banks and stuff. Sometimes it's just get a little bit bigger as we go. Remembering that we're going to come back and cover over most of that guy. So take our dark color out there first. Very lightly with the brush. That way it won't grow too big. Like my first one grew a little bit too big. Very light, very light, very soft across. Now you got this sort of reflection underneath. And you take your liquid white. This is how I would do it anyway. Take your liquid white and go right in between those two guys. Very, very thin though. It's got to be a very thin line of liquid white out there, because the closer we get to us, the liquid white line has to get bigger. Ooh, guys, liking it. Liking it. Again, straight that white just until you can't even see the thing anymore. Okay. Now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna take the same PaintWithJosh plaque mix right onto our 2-inch brush. Should have only done it on the one side, but we did it on the both sides. It doesn't really matter. What we can do as well, why don't we take just a little touch of our sappy green, maybe a little touch of our cad yellow highlight out here. Let's just tap in if we can. Oh yes, just little bits. We're not trying to make it very vibrantly bright. We're not trying to cover up too much of that darkness. You see how a couple little bits popped up off the top? Who cares? It's a couple trees that are taller than everything else out there. It's fantastic. Right now, watch. Different angle. We're gonna come in steeper. It should be darker. We're gonna come down here, come in front of. Pink. Pop it out like that. A little pink. Back in. Make a little triangle out of it. Meaning what? Meaning it's thicker on this side, skinnier on this side. Fill up that area. A little bit darker. There we go. Now you can see it's not black, right? If yours is too black, get some crimson and blue, and throw some white in there. Do something to make it less dark. So we'll change the angle too. Up here, I don't mind if the whole thing is head straight onto the canvas, because we're trying to cover a lot of area. Down here, I want to turn it vertical so I'm not depositing too much of anything, right? That's the whole key. Don't drop too much. Now, turn that guy down a little bit lower. Very cool, guys, very cool. Same thing, gonna get a bit of our PaintWithJosh plaque onto the old palette scrapey tool. Start cutting it back in, back in, back in. It's gonna wanna grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And all the bigger parts are just our reflection as our mountaintop, the space, right? Spacing back here is very minimal. Spacing right here, you gotta have a little bit more, depending on how much you want to show. So, plop it in there. You can see we're not going the full distance, either to the side or anything else, because you can come back in here. It's the right one. I don't think this is the right one. Probably gonna have to watch it. Just very white. Very white. Even softer and smaller of a touch as you get way out there. And then you got all these little vertical streaks. Now, how are we going to turn these vertical streaks into a reflection, you ask? Do you ask? We're going to pull them sideways. Just going to turn them into horizontal streaks without having them blend away too much. Now you got a little reflection again of your thing above. A little bit. Here. Right in here. Now this guy, I can push a little harder. I can have a bigger, you know, water line on him because he's closer. So we can see a lot more. Right? If he's out there too far away, we won't be able to see the water lines, right? Because water, there's not giant crashing waves over there. There's a little bit of water. It's a reflection. Boom, boom, boom. Very cool. Yeah. Now, let's put something here, right? And this is the thing. When you put something here, is it going to come all the way down to the front? We've got to put something here. So which side do you want to be in your foreground? I'm thinking this side. We've got our land kind of getting closer and closer and closer. Each time getting a little bit brighter, a little bit easier to see because we pop on some brighter highlights or different things and not try to cover everything up. Little bits, little doers, little things. Remember, don't do too much. If you're doing too much, you're going to regret it later on because it's going to be too bright or too this or too that. Whatever the two is, you're not going to like it too much. This is just the cad yellow and a little bit of sap green, but mostly cad yellow just to make him a little bit brighter than his counterpart in the background. Very cool. Now let's take a look at this thing from back here. Let's see what we got going on. Let's see what we got going on. Thank you guys for all the birthday wishes. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Remember, you can grab this painting if you go to my website, PaintWithJosh.com. This is very by Vicky Ross, Bob Ross's first wife, is in the comments here with us. This is a very Bob Rossi type of a painting. Grab some of these guys, just a couple. This is Bob Ross to the 10th degree kind of a painting back here. That looks nice. I'm gonna drag up just a couple little things, different areas. They don't all have to be the same. We're not gonna see every single one. That guy, we're not really gonna do too much to. I like him like that. It's very cool though. Very cool. So, we're gonna need to mix up a little bit more of our Paint with Josh plaque. If I'm seeing this river rolling by this way, it may not even be a river, maybe a lake that we trap in by blocking in this side, which will force our guy over here. Right? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's mix up a little bit more of our Paint with Josh plaque mix. And you guys, thank you for the birthday wishes. I had so many likes on Facebook and Instagram, tons of views on the TikTok videos today. And just from me saying thank you guys for following me, basically. Thanks for supporting me and liking my videos and commenting and watching them and buying paintings or hats or merch or whatever, right? Without you guys, there is no me. If you guys don't get things from my online store, I cannot continue to supply free videos and even get supplies for my own self. That's the truth right there. Now, I'm almost tempted to do it with a 2-inch brush because we did it in class the other day. I taught a class to Jacob all the way over in Australia. Right? He had to wake up. This is dedication right here. He had to wake up at like 5:30 in the morning his time to paint with me at 2:30 in the afternoon my time. It was crazy. It was crazy. And we painted a really cool scene. But he didn't have a round brush. He didn't have the Paint with Josh one or the Bob Ross one. And so we made the trees and the kind of deciduous trees back there with our 2-inch brush. It was a little bit more difficult to do. You don't get the right, well not the right, but you don't get the proper shapes. God, what am I gonna do with this guy? What are we gonna do with you now that you're looking nice? Right? What is our plans with you? Okay, all right, I see it. I see it, here we go, little bit, little touch, little things, little bits. Let's get a little bit of our green in there too. There. A little of our sap green in with the plaque, right? You can do it on the brush or not, totally up to you. I'm going to come up above at least, you don't have to go above your peak, but at least above the top. And this is why we missed up the mountains. This is why we don't go all the way to the side, right? Because it gets impossible to mush this stuff over all of that snow, right? It's just not going to work. Go try it. Tell me how it came out, because I'm going to tell you now, it just doesn't work the way that you think it's going to work. Right? A little bit more of our plaque and the sap green mix down in there, and let's pop in, yeah, a couple more, a little bit, out here, let's start popping out. Literally filling up the back with all that darkness. Doesn't need to be anything more than whatever you think, right? This is why you got to do everything prior. You got to think about what you want to do, how you want it to look before we go and do it. Plop out a whole little thing over here. Look at that little, that's a gorgeous river right there. Call John Denver, man. That's a gorgeous one. Okay, let's get in here. Let's take our Paint with Josh 1-inch brush. I threw it right at the canvas right there. And let's just come in and we're going to start a little bit higher. We're going to get a little bit lower and lower and lower as we go. Right? A bit higher up here. Lower down there. I can't even see it in my own camera because the iPad's in the way. Dang thing. Bobby! There we go. Now I can see. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is what happens to a lot of people, or they'll start going up. Your main goal is to go down, so if you don't have enough paint down there to continue grabbing on to something, add more. Back in, streak it out. You pull down a couple little reflections, you can blend it away, you can do whatever you want to do. These Paint with Josh brushes are amazing, and there's only 113 left. I just got notification from the company themselves. 113 kits left. So if you want a Paint with Josh brush kit, you better get out there and get one quick. Tell me. I'm chilling ya. Okay, should we highlight this guy, or should we go do something bigger on our other side? And that's just not enough detail for me either. Let's get in here. We're gonna need to make up some more of our paint. Let's mix up some more plaque. And you tell me, should we highlight that tree, or should we put our shadows on the other side and then just highlight everything all at the end? What do you think? You let me know, because we can do either which way. Which way? And don't be selfish just because you might want to leave. You know, I don't want to watch the whole thing just to figure out how to do the highlights. Like, can't you just do it on this one? Like, don't be selfish. Come on. We're here to learn. We're here to learn. So, what do you think we should do, you guys? All of you collectively as a group. Should we do them at the end? I like that idea. I like that idea. Something on the right. Do another one. Okay, sweet. All right, it seems like everybody just wants to do them at the end, so let's just do them at the end. But first things first, right? I'm looking at this painting, and don't get me wrong, the brightness is one of my favorite parts, how bright it is down along our horizon, right? One of my absolute favorite parts. But this, what would you think? Do you think that's too little, just right, or too much of a distance gap for you? Everyone's answer is going to be a little bit different. There's no wrong answer here, right? But what do you think as far as that distance gap right there? We got just right, too much, okay? Too much, too much, too much. All right, you guys, see, it's a bit empty, they say. That's why you always leave yourself some space. A little leaner. Pop it right into that empty space. Now you could leave it just as a stick, and even that looks better, just as a stick, than the just emptiness, doesn't it? And I know you might have had your opinion and said, yeah, no, it's just right. And then you see it with the stick, and you're like, oh my God, that's even better. And now you see it with a couple little bristles onto our tree, and you're like, oh my, he was right, right? He was correct in his assumption that there was too much empty space back there, right? So you fill it however you see fit. Sometimes I like leaving little bits, sometimes we cover it. It's all in how that one turns out that day. But just like that, if you completely black out your tree in the middle, right, so you can't see past it, now that adds depth and distance all the way back to your mountain, right? And it even covers up some of our little foothill that was all the way out in the back. More distance, more distance, more distance, you guys. I'm telling you. Okay, now let's get wild. because we've got to do something like this, but over here, and it's got to be bigger and closer to us, okay? So first things first, we need to get some more of our green out. Oh, where is that green? Ah, I found the green, you guys. Itch on my nose. I'm so hungry. I'm so thinking about like a 8-ounce filet mignon with mashed taters, maybe some macaroni cheese because I'm a big back. Yes. Go ask your kids what that means. It's like the new age version of, you know, being mean to yourself, calling yourself fat, I guess. But I am a big back when it comes to that food, and it is amazing. I'm so excited. The tater skins, the whole trio of appetizers. Am I making you hungry yet? Am I making you hungry yet? Make myself hungry. I'm doing. Now we're mixing in our sap green into that Paint with Josh plaque, but I don't think there's enough actual plaque mix there to have a tree as big as we want to have our stuff. So we're just going to mix up a whole lot more. And I'm telling you, when I say a whole lot, look at this. First, I can't even get it all to get up there on the knife. Look at that. You don't want that to fall on your floor, right? You wouldn't want this ending up on your clothing. That much paint. A lot. A metric ton of paint when it comes to paint. Okay, let's get over here. We're gonna dab into the thickest part of the paint, right, initially. So you can kind of move that thing. It's got so much body in that thing. Right, we're gonna get down here, let it load up into the brush. But you can see there's a ton of it on there. There's a ton of texture right here from the brush kind of picking it up. Right? Every time it hits, you can kind of pull away those little fingers. That's what you need. It's overloaded, and we got to get real tall and real crazy. Start dropping down. Think about what you want your little tree to look like. Think about what you have to cover, right? We only highlight to those two areas purposely highlight them to those areas. So that we would have to cover it with our dye, meaning it's going to help us keep this thing big enough and dark enough, crazy enough for our perspective to work out right. And if you only do it, or you don't do it big enough, or whatever we're doing, and it's not filling the right amount of space, right? It has to look bigger than this. Automatically it does. It looks a lot bigger. Now let's get down into all this chunk again, right? Look at all that. You can hear it. Oh, it sounds foul. Doesn't sound like we're painting. Let's get out here and let's start popping things up into the color, turning our brush, saving some areas here, some bits there, covering over everything in the back has to be dark, okay? You just got to. Gotta be dark. And on my birthday, I want to pay an homage to Bob, do a scene that he would love doing, some colors that he would love doing. And I think we did a good job. We did a good job with it. Look at all that darkness, you guys. How much do you want to keep going? You know what I mean? You can't make them connect. I mean, you could. You could take this and bring... Should we do that? Oh, or does it look cooler like a little river? What do you think, guys? Watch, let me show you what it might look like, okay? Pull it over here. So this little guy would have his little bit of land, then we'd slide it back over the side. Where? Slide it down. So you got your little river cutting through. Or we cut through this pit, so connect these bushes and these bushes, darken out everything underneath, so all you can see is the river passing by in the back. What do you think? You tell me. Because we could literally do... I think I'm going to cover it. I think so. I think we're going to fill it in. What do you guys think? Oh, that glare on those trees over there. It is not this bright, you guys. It is actually very dark. It's darker than the black glove on my hand. So just remember, it's supposed to be dark, and that's just my lights over there giving us a little trouble. We're gonna put some. We're gonna put our highlights on them, so don't worry. We gotta put highlights on them. Gotta put the old highlights. Right? If we turn the light down too much, then it just gets too dark. It's all about finding the right space in the room. And the new studio is tending to be, don't cover it, they say. Don't, but guys, we would have so many bushy things and bits, and it would be like you'd be like wading through these bushes to try to get down to the water's edge. But you guys let me know. You're the professionals out here, right? We say cover it. Cover it, don't cover it. No, don't cover it. Somebody better get it if they want to tell me what to do with it. I'm telling you. In any case, let's put some highlights onto these guys. And then I can feel it. I can just feel it on this one, that it wants to be dark. That's what we're going to do. I'm not even going to wait. Watch this. We got all the paint. All the paint. We're going to come in here, crisscross, bang, just like that. Popping it in, feeling it out. Oh, we can almost have a little, a little land bridge or something in there, right? Now, if we just keep it bushes, we need to have a fair amount. Tell me that's not better. I'm gonna wait, because it is. You know it is. It frames in the painting. Everything is perfect. Everything is awesome. Maybe we can put a little pathway over here. Very Bob Rossi. Put a little path that leads back into those bushes and such. All right, but you can't tell me that doesn't look better than that little thing, right? Maybe we came over a bit too far with our big guy or whatever. And you can have an opening. Don't get me wrong. You can absolutely have an opening, 100%. That, okay, let's get out here. We're going to start to highlight some stuff. Now, in order to highlight, our paint has to be thinner than its very thick self, right? And so this liquid white, there we go, it's a little bit, there we go, see it running? It's kind of dripping down on its own. This is what's going to help the paint get thinner. It's going to help it come off of our brush a lot more simply, right? So we're gonna grab the white, we're gonna tap it kind of into, get that texture right there. You see how it's kind of reaching, it's pulling back, trying to stick to the brush. That's perfect right there. So now we're going to come up with a very light touch. It's all about the lightness of our touch. Right? If we touch on too much or cover too many things, we're not going to like it. Right, then we're going to come back in to our odorless mineral spirits, which is our brush cleaner. You see it drip like water because it's a chemical cleaner. It's very runny like water. Please don't drink it ever. Don't even joke about drinking it. It's not good stuff, okay? Our odorless mineral spirit cleaner into our titanium white, and then what if we just popped in a couple little branches on this guy? Little things, wherever. Remembering that when you're doing trees like this guy, it's not just one, let's get a little more Indian yellow in there too, just to change up our color a little bit. It's not just one big old tree. We have multiple things happening out here and growing, right? It's not just one solid piece. So if you think about it like that, and you think, okay, I'm going to have some branches over here, maybe there's a bigger one there, so okay, it becomes much easier to highlight, at least for me. I always struggled with these trees because I would look at them and go, oh my God, I just can't get it in my head how to do that. I don't understand it. You know what I mean? What's this going to look like? Let's hit this guy on this side. That Indian yellow with our titanium white. Just grabbing little pieces and leaving things dark in between. I'm going to say that about 17 times before we finish doing this thing. Okay? Right here in my Indian yellow. It's got a little sap green in there too. All right? We have to leave spaces in between. I'm going to ask you, all right? When we're doing these guys, are we supposed to leave spaces in between? I can't remember if we're supposed to leave some dark bits and different little guys and things that are happening in our tree. Do you guys remember? It sounds familiar. I don't know. It's just I'm having trouble remembering it. All right. So what do you think? You gotta leave the spaces in between, guys. Of course. Let's get out one other color that's gonna help us out a lot. Two other colors. We're going to get our cadmium yellow, which I love mixing with sap green when we're doing highlights. Anytime we do green highlights, gotta have the sap green and then the cad yellow. So mix it with, and then we're going to have our yellow ochre for some of our bushes down around the bottom, just so we can have a different change of yellow. Yellow ochre is one of my most favorite colors to use too. just fabulous, my friends. Now remember, every time that we go back, we get more liquid white and then go into our color, right? And then very light taps. You gotta change that color. That yellow ochre is such a cool, just brownish, sort of a yellowy color. It's gorgeous. Color where our little guys are growing out of. Right? The more pressure you put on there, you might leave something that's too big. So try not to make it too dark. And again, do a section, go back, throw some branches in there. Is this not the most prettiest thing that PaintWithJosh has done in a minute? With all these fall colors. I know Anna is a big fall painting liker. Lots of people like the fall colors out here. That's just absolutely stellar. I'm going to my green and my yellow right there on the brush, on top of the yellow ochre, on top of just more liquid white, right? Get it in there, come out here, and again, let's decide how many places are gonna catch some of that brightness. Leave what in between? What are we gonna leave in between these little guys? Let's go. So stinking cool. The more we come down, maybe we get some of that yellow ochre. Throw some of that yellow ochreish green down in here. Little bits at a time, because we don't have to do everything, and we need to leave what in between? Who's got the answer? Some darkness, some spaces, everything. You gotta leave it. Okay, now my brush is getting too overly loaded at this point with liquid white and color. It's gone down about a ½ inch now. That's just too much paint. So let's go wash it out. And we use the odorless mineral spirits instead of paint thinner. Right? Now don't get me wrong, odorless mineral spirits is a paint thinner, but it is not quote unquote paint thinner. Paint thinner, quote unquote, is very strong, and you will just stink yourself right out of the whole house. More than your husband. I'm just assuming he's a tutor. I don't know, just asking. We're just taking guesses over here. I am, and if he's anything like me, he could blast you right out of the house, right? Let's get a little of our yellow and our sap green over here. You should meet my daughter if you think your husband's bad. Oh, I didn't say that. Just JK, baby, JK. Okay, tapping on our sap green cad yellow mix just on our one side, and then letting it get darker as it goes backwards, right? We don't need to see every single piece of every bit of green that's on that branch or this tree. It's just never going to be perfect. We're never going to have it looking all the same or all bright green or this or that or whatever you think. It's never going to be perfect, okay? So don't overdo it. Put on too many little bits. Leave some spaces where? Even in our tree, right? Leave some spaces where? Let's get down here. We'll take a little of our brown, a little of our white, titanium white, with our dark sienna brown, which is the lighter color of the two browns. Don't ask why they do it like that. Take that guy and just plop in a little opening into our tree. We might be able to see in there and check out our little tree trunk. And it may not be perfectly visible. You may not ever see it when you're doing yours. But either way, I like to add it in there. It just makes it for a cool little thing. Now, as you can see, this is why we use the Petri dish, because when our brush is full of color, we can still go in and dab onto that. We never want to do that into our pure white jar, right? So always keep the top. This will become a future Petri dish lid. But always keep the top. And then I'll show you just how runny it is. Whoop! Look at that. You could never do that with the tubes that come, or with the paint that comes in the tubes. It'll never run like that in a million years, okay? This is why we need this stuff. This stuff is vital to the technique working. This really runny, milky paint, right? It's very helpful. So, even if you don't like the Bob Ross Corporation or whatever, right, then at least get that, because that is the key to making it all work. And even so, if you don't like that, you can always go over I've found the stuff at Michael's called Grumbacher's First Coat Liquid White or First Coat Liquid Clear. Exact same stuff, just a different brand name. But you have to have it. You gotta have a wet canvas to start, otherwise nothing's working out here for us, okay? Let's get up here. Liquid white, fresh, clean brush right into the cad yellow. You can see we're kind of tapping it into the pile, trying to get a little texture on there. And with the liquid white, it'll help it come off much easier. Come in here. Little bits, little things. Where's the light catching? Don't want to go back too far. We don't want to fill up too many spaces. Right? Because there's this guy online. I think his name's PaintWithJosh. And he always says we got to keep the spaces in between these guys. So you can come in, even after the fact, and add little branches or a stick that pops up and out and into your river. Right? Where do you want these little guys to be? Just be random and quick with them. Right? If you're quick with it, and you don't care where they go, that's going to be more like nature, isn't it? Nature doesn't care where she puts stuff. She's like, okay, no, that's where it's going to be, right there. A little bit more of my yellow ochre. You can see it's all globbed up onto here. Because now that we're down here, I want to see more texture in my stuff. I want to have little themes, right? Look different to all the other stuff. Just using more paint. Very light amount of pressure, though. Don't go crazy with your pressure. If you mix, let me ask you a question just real fast. Has anyone ever heard of the term making mud? I know Bob says it a lot. There's other teachers that'll tell you, you know, this is how you're going to make mud. Making mud is a bad thing. You don't want to do that. And I can tell you why you make mud. In case you don't know the answer. Maybe you're wandering around lost. And you're like, man, every time I go to do those trees, it just never works, and I can't figure out why. Right? Has anyone ever said that? Just can't figure out why I can't get these looking like old Joshes or old Bobbies. Right? Why can't I? Anyone? And it's okay if the answer is no, that's fine. I'm going to use that same yellow ochre, go up into my green, because this guy is more in the shadows, so I want him to be the same shape, just a little bit different in color. Right? Lock down, here, there, wherever. Pop them in as you see fit, okay? I'm telling you, you get to do whatever you want. Right? Have you ever heard the term making mud? You've heard of the saying? It basically comes down to pressure. Right? And the 3 P's of PaintWithJosh, which I came up with. The amount of paint that's on our brush, the amount of pressure that we're smashing into the canvas, right? And then practice, of course, is our final P. But let's just say we take all this thick, dark stuff, really thick, dark, nasty, and we just goop it up there, blah, 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 right? Just goop it up all nasty and weird. When we're gonna go highlight it, if we push with that same pressure that we use to glob it all, it's going to take the paint that's there and the paint that's on our brush and mix them together, turning this paint from a very thick thing into a very thin thing like our highlight paint. And we know we have to have, Bob always told us the golden rule. Does anybody know Bob's golden rule? I'm going to tell you, I'll let you answer me first, and then I'll tell you whether or not you're wrong or right. Man, my dyslexia is playing up like crazy tonight. Crazy. Right, do you know the golden rule? You can go with Gamblin or Windsor if you don't get the Bob Ross brand. Gamblin or Windsor and Newton is very good. Let me tell you the golden rule, okay? A thin paint will stick to a thick paint. And when you make mud, you turn your thick base shadow paint into a thin paint, which you then cannot put any thinner paints on top, right? So, pressure, pressure, pressure is key, okay? Now, start getting a little crazy. I want to see some blueries in here. I always forget to do little blue flowers and stuff. So our liquid white into our blue right out there on the brush. There's lots of it out there. So let's see if we tap down underneath. Maybe we'll make it look like a little shadow or something. If it's not bright enough, you want it to be brighter blue. Let's get in here with some more liquid white. Go over the same exact thing. Brighter. Just enough to see, right? We don't have to have everything be exactly the same. And you can always mix it in with your titanium white as well. Or take your liquid white into your titanium white. And then go add just a couple little flowers and saving that blue shadow. Right? We're not trying to cover everything. cover everything, it's going to get ruined, okay? Don't do that. Don't ruin it by covering too much. Okay, again, our odorless mineral spirit cleaner into our titanium white. And let's get back in here and fill in little spaces, coming out of the dark spaces, right? Dark area, touch, drag up, touch, drag up, drag up, drag up. You got a dark spot in there, it needs some branches, right? Let's say, Josh, I don't have a liner brush as cool as your liner brush. That's okay, not many people do, but you can get one. If you go to PaintWithJosh.com, you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see my brush kit. Click that button, it will take you over to their site and you can grab it, right? Now let's say, all right, Josh, that was funny. Good segue to your brushes. But let's say I don't have that and I'm in the middle of doing my painting and I want to do it right now, right? You take your palette scrapey tool, you put the point of it towards your canvas and you remove the paint that's there. Scrape it away, right? It makes the same sticks and twigs, but these will be thinner. You can do a lot more little things with them, right? And they'll be smaller and thinner. So as you're working your way down, little bits, whatever. Start throwing in little sticks and twigs, growing from all sorts of areas. They look best when they come out of your dark spaces, right? Sometimes they can come right out of the top. You got like a stick growing up out of the top of the flowers. That's okay. It happens. Stuff happens out there. It's really cool. You could almost make, if we did this, you could almost make a little trail down to the, oh my, okay, it's there, now it's there, we're going to use it. Let's take that brown and our white that we made up for our trunk of our tree over here, let's just start cutting this guy, laying it down, tossing it in there, get our little dirt look, get our darker brown as well, the Van Dyke brown. I like to mix these two together. Whenever I'm doing a brown seam, that's a big old chunk of skin. Whenever I'm doing like a brown seam or a wooded area or a walkway, pathway, whatever, I'm always going to mix the two dark browns or the two browns together, right? And that way you don't just get this one color. And then if you needed to go back and highlight in different places, you can. Now we got very dark, very thick paint down here. So we can then go highlight that guy and we'll look like we'll have a little pathway walking down through the flower. It's going to be gorgeous. Scraping in wherever you want, whatever you don't like, you can remove. All things are possible, guys, when you're doing the Paint with Josh experience. Let's go up here into our yellow, just cad yellow, right on top of these guys, popping out, right? Leaving some of the darkness underneath, going above and beyond the darkness to get up into your color, right? Sometimes you go a little bit too far, you gotta get up in there and add a bit of darkness just to help it have that depth, okay? Back over the guy. A couple little things, just to have that depth-filled space, right? You don't want to cover up too much. You don't need to do too many things. And just like that, you got a whole bunch of flowery goodness down around the base of our little pathway down there. It's really cool. Now, if we took some of our titanium white, just went over this guy, let them blend together. Literally, you don't have to do too much to make it look exactly how you want to make it look. So you guys start coming up with a title for this one. Remember, if you purchase it right here live during the live show, you get to come up with the title and tell us what it's going to be named forever. You get to do that. But you got to be the first person over there and grab it at the old store. Otherwise, I can't help you. Just can't be of any service. Let's see. There we go. Peach Skies. I like that for a title. The Road Less Traveled, Path to Paradise. Man, nobody grabbed this one, guys? For real? I don't know what to paint if you guys don't like this. If you guys aren't liking this one, I might as well just take it right out the store because I like it too much to give away. I like it too much to even say goodbye to it. So, maybe we'll go take this one out. We'll see. You guys got spare minutes. Just minutes until I'm able to go remove it from the store. So if you like it, I'm telling you now, grab it because I'm going to take it out and I'm going to keep it for my own self. That is so neat. So neat. Okay. I'm going to do a bit of washing of the brushes, cleaning up while you guys come up with a title for it. And then, like I said, if you get it, you get to pick the title and come back and tell us what to call it. You can find it if you go to PaintWithJosh.com. Right? And you can trust me, got over almost 2 million followers, okay? I'm not going to try to send you anywhere dangerous, right? You go to PaintWithJosh.com. This is the very first thing that you're going to see. Now, it doesn't look like this yet because we haven't finished the show and taken a photo of it, right? It's just a bland thumbnail in this really ornate gold frame. But that's what you're going to want to grab, that very first listing, number 1832. We're putting the birds in. Don't worry. We're not done. I just got to clean up. Goodness. All right, we'll put it in now. Fine, if that's how you want to be. We'll go and put it in right now. Same thing, very small amount of our odorless mineral spirits on the Paint with Josh liner brush, and then you got to go and launch those little guys. As big as you want, as small as you want. And because they're odorless mineral spirits in with the darkness, it will blend away very quickly. It's going to ruin your sky a little bit, right? It's going to change it a little bit, but you can blend them away if you want to. It is possible. So let's go add our signature, and then we'll finish washing all these brusheries. There, zip, zap, zoop. Boom. Looking cool, guys. Looking cool. $14.92. Columbus got to stay off the skew. Okay. That guy. My whole table is just disheveled over here. And this brush picks up so much paint. That Paint with Josh bushy brush. Sometimes you gotta wash it twice. You guys give me a title. What are we going to call this thing? It needs a title, and it needs to find a new home. Right? It wants to come live with you, but you got to go over to PaintWithJosh.com, put it in your cart, check out, and then have it come live with you. Very gorgeous. Everything about it. Literally everything. Hey Josh, what's your favorite part about this painting? Oh, all of it. Just every single piece. All right, you guys come up with a title. I'm gonna finish washing it all off. Wiping down everything. Then get ready to go eat it. We're gonna eat Texas Roadhouse. What? Oh my goodness. You guys, I can't believe it. Boom! This one found a forever home. Hey, ho, let's go, baby. I love it. Love it. So now you, madam, or sir, I didn't really look at your screen name, you, person of interest, must now come up with the title for this painting. You can use all of the comments, suggestions that you want. You can compile two and put them together, or just pick one and say, hey, this is what I want to call it, and then just let us know, and I'll write it on the back. Yeah, guys, happy birthday to me. Woo! Oh, my voice is all cracking like a 12-year-old. Woohoo! Hey, guys. Oh, man. Peaking Mountain. Very cool, guys. Heavenly Path. I like that for a title. You guys always have the bestesses of all titles. Which is why I rely on you guys instead of me to do the naming. Smells making me nauseous. Boom. Wipe this guy down. This guy down. And we'll be looking for that title. Remember, guys, we also have Paint with Josh palettes in clear. Well, it starts out clear, and then it may end up looking like this if you don't take care of it. And in black. If you want to see the black palette, just let me know. And we're going to need a title from our purchaser, and then we'll say goodbye to everybody over on Facebook and over on YouTube. I can't wait to see your guys' versions of this painting. Thank you for hanging out with me on my birthday. It's been fantastic. And man, just when you have an awesome night before and a day leading into your painting, look what happens. It just comes out amazing, right? So, you guys have been awesome. I love you. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have a good day. And bye. I gotta be able to confirm. Let's see.